Welcome, everybody. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible for healing. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the amazing, powerful women authors of a new book that we have coming out. It is called Unstoppable: Being Fierce, Fearless, and Unfuckwithable in Life and Business. You guys, I cannot wait to share this book with you. I can't wait to share these authors with you today. Let me just first begin by saying a humongous thank you to Rochelle Marie Lawson. Rochelle, we would not be here without you. You are an amazing woman, an amazing, unstoppable woman yourself. And I love this book, and I love the amazing author cast that you attracted and pulled together for this book. And today I'm going to share three of these ladies with you. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you all are here. Okay, y'all, I have Dr. Nailah Beraki. She's a holistic certified business coach with 3 decades of experience. Her compassion, humor, and earthly approach allows her to help others align money mindset strategy with self-development. Doreen Hillier is a chaplain who has a love for helping others. She's a mother of 2, grandmother of 2, and after the closing the portion of tax accounting of TFG Consulting, she focused on her studies with physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health and wellness. Melinda Holmes is a certified wellness professional and founder at Above the Lead that helps successful wellness business owners create a concierge client experience to increase profits and retention. Oh my goodness, y'all get ready for this. Okay, Dr. Beraki, tell me a little bit about this amazing chapter that you wrote.
Hey, Laura, I'm really excited. I am so happy to be part of this project. Thanks again, Rochelle. I'm the author of Chapter 19, and it's titled Blue Chakra: How to Increase Self-Confidence and Have a Whip Appeal in Your Life and Business. So, as business owners, we are the CEO, and this is the most rewarding and challenging thing that we can do. So I wrote this book because as a mental health, a holistic mental health practitioner, I have, in my experience, I have found that, we're responsible for everything. We're the speaker, we're everything. And we have to think about everything, and we have to think about our mind, body, and health. And I thought, hey, we need to think about this in our business, because in my experience, I have found that sometimes the most important asset we have is our voice, and sometimes we lose it. And that thread of fear runs through that. So the blue chakra is the throat chakra. I don't want to get into all that because I get hyped up and I get real excited, but it does. I wrote this book so that we can keep ourselves healthy, mind, our body, and, and keep that balance. So why should we think differently about our business than we do about our health? We want to be healthy, mind, body, and soul. We want our business to be healthy, and it goes together. They're aligned together. So I can't wait.
Oh my gosh. You're not going to get away with not talking about the blue chakra with me, right? Like that. I know I have to do it. You know why? I wish I had it with me, you guys, to show and tell, because back in the day when I was exploring, we called it the avenue of expression, the throat chakra. And I created an art piece about voice that was basically just voice, coming through and the expression. So, oh man, just say something a little more about why this has been important to you, Dr. Beraki.
Well, as a holistic practitioner and, in Reiki and working with energy for the last 40 years, I put 3 decades, but one, I look at all the chakras. There are 7. Chakras mean, in Sanskrit, it means wheels. And from the crown to the root, I don't have time to do it all. Okay. They spin. There are energy fields, and we have to be mindful of our energy and how we use it. And sometimes we don't know why we're tired. We don't know how we've spent our energy. So the chakra, all of them are important. All of them interact with each other. But the blue chakra is the throat, and it's bottleneck between the mind and the body and the spirit energy. So I said, you know what? This is where our communication, our expression this is where everything is happening. And I thought, this is the one that I want to write about because it's profound and it's transformative. And in writing this book, if we can raise our energy, we can clear the fear, and we can open up that energy chakra in the throat. When we speak, it will open up everything, because this is where we hold it all in. And then it just translates here. I can't, I won't, I'm afraid. And that fear, that thread of fear just runs through it. So I find that to be very exciting. And I just had to, I could have wrote a whole book about the blue chakra alone. Each chakra, I could write a book. Maybe I will. But
there you go.
but that's pretty much, a chakra is a Sanskrit word, and there are a lot of charts on chakra energy, and I really recommend that you look more into chakra energy and how it applies to you and your well-being and work by reading my chapter.
I appreciate that answer. And yes, please, y'all, when this book is ready and out into the world, you're going to have an incredible toolkit. And I'll say thank you to all of you right now for, not only for just saying yes to the project, but for stepping up to offer those teachings. It's one thing to teach your clients, you do it all day long, you're all master teachers, but to actually write it in a book in a way that's helpful to that person and they're having an experience from it. And you all did that so brilliantly. So thank you for that. And I appreciated what you said about the bottleneck, because, it's interesting, right? Between that heart and the mind, that we've got this little place. And for me, it's always been about a practice of body awareness and feeling that little knot and understanding, that it was time to speak. So, okay, y'all, you have to read that chapter of Dr. Beraki's, learn about the throat chakra. You will not regret it, right? Doreen, I'd like to move to you. Tell us a little bit about your amazing chapter.
Thank you, Laura. Yes, it's very, very exciting, definitely, to be here and to add a chapter written in that particular book, Unstoppable, because I really wanted to get the message out to the world. And my chapter is in chapter 3, and it's called Transformation for Growth. And be the best version of yourself. So each one of us recognizes things within ourselves that we'd like to change, and we want to learn how to change them. Regardless, whether it's spiritual, physical, mental, each one of us has something that we need to transform. And I went on this journey 5 years ago. I had a heart attack. And I went on this journey and started writing on nutrition. And then I increased my spiritual growth and took my course then and got a license as a pastor. And then I just graduated December 30th as a chaplain. Many people had been calling me for prayer for various reasons and things like that. So I went on a journey of self-healing and asking God to heal me, which he did. I got really great reports that there's no explanation but up above, right? So I want to give God the glory and the grace, because really without him, I wouldn't be here to continue working for him. So everybody who wants to be transformed or wants to do something a little bit differently, they can do it. Now, I also had a gift given to me, a spiritual gift, if you will, that I can see in others. It's like looking in their eyes as the all way to their soul or whatever, and be able to help them. Yes, come closer. Come closer.
Everybody, only in a group of healers would we all put our eyes closer to the screen.
Right.
Everybody else would be like,
let me see into your soul. But I did have one man that he didn't realize really what he was capable of doing. And he said, I was bullied for 25 years at work. And he came to my workshop on the laws of leadership. And the following, something I had said in that workshop, the following conference for Toastmasters, he ran up to me and he said, Doreen, I'm so excited. I've got to tell you, I was bullied for 25 years. I didn't have the nerve to quit and do what I really, truly wanted to do. But after your workshop, that encouraged me to go home and talk to my wife. I quit my 25-year job. I started my own business, and I'm so happy. Everything is just going great. Another person went back and got their MBA. There's just all sorts of different testimonials. And that's why I said, well, transformation for growth, it not only works for me, it works for you, it works for this one, works for that one. So my thing is, I want to listen to you. What is your need? And then how can I help you? If I can't help you directly, I know, and I have enough contacts that they can help you. So that's kind of how I brought transformation for growth, whether it's spiritual, physical, mental, and even in the physical, I was 280 pounds, and people talk, well, you don't want to talk weight loss. You don't want to talk weight loss, but healthy eating, not diet, talk healthy eating. And then you do lose the weight. Went back to my art specialist. He says, there are no art concerns. No art concerns. Okay, great. God's keeping me around for another little while. So let's go to work for transformation for growth. Thank you, Laura.
Nice, Doreen. You said everybody has something to transform, and I believe that. And what came into my mind as a question is, we've all probably had clients where they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they need to transform. Right. And it is about waking people up to possibility in my mind.
Right.
And so I've got this question I'm going to ask all of you in a minute, but let's first move to Melinda. And Melinda, tell us about your chapter. Then I'm going to get back to you all about what I just said. Okay.
Thank you, Laura. Well, my chapter is chapter 15, and it's without a powerful community, there is no success. 3 steps to building a lifetime of wealth by creating a community in all parts of your life. So I learned this just from my own experience. In 2020, I had some health challenges, and being independent, I wanted to do it on my own. So that's how it started. And then I realized just the power of community in my personal life, how important that is. And then just going through the journey of going through the ropes of starting my business, talking about how the power of community is important, even as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. And then once I went into starting my business, I just saw the beauty and the importance of having a community, even within your business, of not just having a community personally, but creating a community in your business to keep your customers and your clients united, and finding that way that they can better engage and support one another, even within your own network. So I talk about, it's not just having one community in one part, but just the power. And when I say success, it's not just like one successful milestone. It's looking at that infinite opportunity of success. And during those hard times and during those difficult times, and even in those times where you want to celebrate, you want to have that strategic community just to help you during that time. So that I talk about a lot of that in the book.
Oh my goodness, this subject, y'all are going to get me started. Do you know, Melinda, that this was a whole interview question? So now, girl, it's all yours. Okay. So let's just continue this for just a second, and I'm going to figure out what is the piece I want from you personally. But for me, I know you'll all agree with your own communities, but for me, community has been the difference between success and failure, period. And it was a mindset switch for me. It was going from this traditional paradigm where you were taught competition to this over here where collaboration, right? And the energy and the mindset and the practice and the discipline of collaborative communities. So I guess, Melinda, I want you to continue, talking about this for just one more minute. What's that personal example for you? Like, what happened? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Well, I was always like the strong one, right? The one in the family, taking care of the family, something went wrong, and always the healthy one. And unfortunately, like the year of 2019, we lost a lot of close family members. I was going through stress at my job. And it was a lot. I was taking in a lot, even having a background in wellness. It just was a lot. And then unfortunately, then I found out that I was struggling with an autoimmune, and I wanted to go back to the natural route. I wanted to go back to the roots. Although I was struggling with different doctors that were like, take this medication, do this procedure, and you'll be fine. But I just knew that I had to go back to the root cause, because I know if not, I wouldn't have been fully healed. So I just went through the whole channels, and then finally I joined a group program, a group wellness program. So it wasn't enough just to take supplements and to eat these type of foods, but a lot of it goes into that mindset and that belief that yes, I can heal. And it was through the power of that community that I was a part of. And although it was virtual through Zoom, just the connection that we had and the support that we had for one another when we shared, and just the outreach really just helped with that mindset and that support. So I was trying to do it alone, but that support really helped give me that push. Even after that community session that we had, just being able to reach out to fellow members of the group and just have that connection, because we all had that connection and that desire to heal naturally. It was just so powerful. Just having that energy just really made a difference. And I even went on a retreat 2020 to Jamaica. It was a yoga retreat. And I just felt a great impact of just being amongst wonderful women. And we all just had that energy, just that energy being together just had a great impact. So I really saw for myself the power, like I really need to be in a community. I can't do this on my own.
I love it. Yes. I think there was probably a time in my life where I believed that part of success was being able to do it on your own. And it's such an intense shift when you realize all the things you can do in community. And then, you all know, you're not going to go back because you're not going to go back to that old belief or that old thing where, you have to sit there and do it all your own. This book is such a beautiful example of community, and all of our projects, and even the Brave Healer community is a great example of people coming together to help each other, build our businesses, get our brave words out into the world. And that's another thing to thank all of you for. Thank you, Melinda, for that. So, okay. So Doreen, I'm going to start with you for this next one. And this kind of gets back to something that we talked about a minute ago. Some of our readers and clients, they're not even conscious of what the transformation stuff is or the stuff to look at. And this to me is, even being a healer or a coach is about guiding people to a new level of awareness. And you're not going to fix them. You're not going to do it for them. You're going to empower them to wake up into it, whatever that happening is and whatever way they need to hear it or do it. So, feeling is healing to me. So helping people to feel has been part of it for me. So Doreen, I want to know from you, what's your practice of awareness look like in the day-to-day? Your personal example of that?
Well, my personal example would be definitely, I do a lot of reading, a lot of studying, and I keep my books and I go back and I refer. So I know that if I wake up in the morning, make my bed, use the washroom, shower, eat a good breakfast before I turn on my computer, then do some spiritual study in the Bible, prayer. And I say, God, what do you want me to do today? And he clearly tells me who he wants me to reach out to. Reach out to at least 3 people today. And those 3 people, they're like, Doreen, this was a timely call. I really, really needed to hear this today. And be able to get them to open up and let them feel safe and comfortable, that they can tell me anything, knowing that it's going to be confidential. Short of, doing some harm to yourself, it's going to be confidential. It's, you're safe, just solid. And then they feel good and they open up and they tell me. So for me, I've become aware of my own need to grow in areas by doing research, by reading, by following the leaders that have gone on before me, and then to be able to share that knowledge and that experience with others. And that's definitely where I started to really grow, was following people that have gone through similar experiences. I can give you an example of my divorce. I had a bookstore, and in those books, they were saying that my children would not retain as well. And I said, well, I'm not going to be a stat. So I stayed on my kids, and they both passed grade 12 on a principal's honor list. And my son is a professor in Seoul, South Korea. My daughter is there, and she's a lead hand at a carrier company. I would not settle for less. It's not that it's conditional love. It's that encouragement, and that, you can do it. You can do it. You can rise above any challenge, any challenge. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. So therefore, keep on going. Be unstoppable. Isn't that the name of the book? Do what you want to do, what truly aligns with you, and be the best version of you. And that's why I would encourage anybody. Be the best version of you.
Awesome, Doreen. Thank you. I love it. And it's come up in other interviews too. What we're modeling for our kids is so important. And in another conversation, we were talking about that default to pessimism, and how we need to kind of switch that, and again, wake up inside our own behaviors and realize, what we're doing and what we're modeling. We were talking about our kids in that one. So it's so important to remember that. Melinda, how about you? What's the day-to-day of your awareness practice look like?
I think for me, it's a lot about being intentional, because if I'm not intentional and I don't plan out ahead of time, then it's just going to be, I'm just going to be all over the place. So like, I know when I'm not in sync, when I'm like feeling discouraged or just unmotivated, then I know, like, okay, Melinda, you need to like go back to the basics and realign. So I take it a lot as far as the feedback, as far as like how I feel, and even the results that I get, like day to day. Like if I feel like, I started off the day and then half of the day is gone and I'm not being productive, then I'm like, okay, something's not right, and I have to like go back and say, okay, why am I off? Like what can I do better, and what can I continue so that I'm aligned and I'm focused and I'm productive and not just busy.
Melinda, you hit on something really important, and that's alignment. And so I think that we all of those who practice, write about, speak about, coach it, we take alignment for granted. I'm going to kind of go back at you with this one and say, what does it even mean for you to be aligned? You don't have to worry about everyone else right now in this answer. It's just like Melinda's alignment. What does that feel like?
Yeah, well, that's deep. Well, for my alignment, for me, it's really like not just being, and it's not just talking about work. It could be just creating like an event for my friends. It's being successful at whatever I'm planning, and like, not, because I have a tendency to be busy and not productive or not efficient or effective. So when I see that I'm like running around, like, like the old saying, a chicken without a head, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, and I'm like, oh, and then the clock is ticking, and I'm like, okay, I only got 2 things done, and I'm really stressed, and I'm just like, then I'm like, okay, you're not in alignment. So that's how I know when I'm like moving, but there's very little productivity.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's really good to hear people talk about this, because it can be something so different for all of us. So, when productivity happens in your world, you're like, oh, okay, this is aligned. I lean into my joyometer, I call it. And if that feeling in my body is light and strong, it's light and strong, it's productive for sure. It's, happy. It's a smile. It's, for me, it's embodied. So when I feel it, I'm like, and yeah, the flow and productivity for sure happened from that place. No doubt every single time. Right. So I'm asking Melinda that question, and I'm giving you my answer too, because we all need to hear it in a different way. We all need to hear it in the way that clicks, and we can say, oh, that's what that is. Or, ooh, I don't really feel any of those ways. What's up with that? Like, how can I get into the alignment, So thank you, Melinda, for playing with me on that one. Dr. Beraki, what about you? Your daily awareness practice, what does that look like for you?
Well, first of all, when I wake up in the morning, I have so much gratitude that I woke up. Sometimes I'm surprised I woke up, especially if I ate something the night before that I wasn't supposed to eat, which
No.
no ain't better. But
Yes.
but here's the thing. I became a naturopath in the 70s. And I also, like you, Laura, studied martial arts when I was a teenager. And so when that time came, and it's in my book, that I was a pedestrian hit by a car and in a coma, community became very important. It scared a lot of people because I had sat in a lot of circles of healers in different countries, because I used to travel a lot to see how people love what they ate and how they heal. And so when I was in the hospital, when I came out of a coma and people were there, some people were chanting, some people were praying, and the hospital was like, we don't know what to do with this person because we need to cut her hair or do something. They're like, ah. So, all of these things, and I just reflect back to that. But a big part of my practice every day is gratitude. One, reflection. Reflection helps me to look at myself and sometimes take out some of the judgment I may have about something that didn't go right or something that I planned that didn't quite work out, because a lot of times we plan things that they don't work out the way we planned, but there's always a higher source, that's working, in our behalf. And one of my main practices every day and how I deal with things is laughter. Laugh therapy is something that I practice every single day. And reflection helps me to look at the big picture. The gratitude helps me because with the type of injuries that I had, and I kept my report, it says that my life should be crossword puzzles and staying in a wheelchair. And I don't care that much for crossword puzzles, and I gave back the wheelchair. But I am so grateful. So it allows me to sit with people in my work, in their pain. It helps me to sit with them and help move them forward, in their mindset and in their business, because whatever's happening at home or in your personal life, you're taking that to work. You're taking that to your business. And I know that fear not only wants your life, but it wants your business and wants your voice. So I deal with a lot of laughter, joy, and less judgment. That helps me.
You're talking about such high vibe practices, and that's really what you're all talking about, is noticing, right? And that's my practice of awareness, is understanding that I've got the choice in any moment. If I'm observing and understanding that I'm not aligned, or I'm not in gratitude, like what you're just saying, I have such a better choice right in that moment, but I have to see it first. I have to be aware of what I'm thinking, believing, how I'm behaving, how I'm speaking. And that's badass. That I believe is what helps us be unstoppable, is our level of practice in all of these ways. Y'all are so awesome. And we need to hear it in every single way. And those of you listening today, it's the reason. Yeah, go for it.
One of the challenges that I hear people with that say to me is that they want to see it. The laws of allowing say, allow it to happen. You don't have to know the outcome because you're in the process. And so I just want to warn people. I just really want to speak to that. Sometimes you can't see it. It's so much bigger than you. And then when you step into it and allow it, it happens for you.
Yes. Hard practice to fall into until you do. And then you realize how powerful it is. And then you're like, oh, I'm letting go again. I'm just going to keep letting go until,
Daily practice.
Yes, it does. We're laughing, y'all, but we're being serious too, because as you realize the magic of this, and it does feel like magic some days, Not always easy, but yeah. Okay. Awesome. I want to pull one more nugget out of all of you today. Melinda, I'm going to start with you for this one. Okay. We have our readers and our viewers today, and they're nodding their heads at us. They understand these topics. They're interested, and maybe they're still stuck. And so what I want from you all on this one is, what piece of advice would you give someone listening who might just be stepping on the path? They might be a little stuck still, and you want to help them feel empowered.
Thanks, Laura. I was just taking a moment.
That's okay. I know there's about a million things you could say right now, right? Like, what would be that one thing from you, from the Melinda version of this? And how do you want them to feel empowered today?
Right. I would say the first thing is that not looking at something that doesn't go as planned or as expected as failure. It's whatever it is, whatever it may be, whether it's personal or in business, a goal. It's not a moment of failure. It's a moment of a teaching experience, a time to learn and say, okay, what did I learn from this? What did I do that was good that I would keep, or what can I do different next time around? And it's okay not to know everything. We all have our specialties. We all have our gifts and talents. And that goes back to the community. And that's why community is so important, because you want to have those group of people. You never want to be the smartest one in your group, right? And you want to have a group of people that you can go to that have those talents that can uplift you and help you reach those goals. So you're never alone. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out to reach whatever those goals may be, and that it's okay. It's okay. If first you don't succeed, you try again and you try again, but you want to do it with people that are there to support you, and with people that have the resources that you need to succeed.
I love that, Melinda. I'm listening to the first part of it where you started and you said something, doesn't go as planned. And oh man, don't we all have moments where we were so attached to the outcome of what this thing should be, right? And I want to add there that practice Melinda's talking about for me is detaching from the outcome, is not making an outcome mean anything. It just is what it is. It's my choice to create an opportunity out of it and make it a learning experience, which is what Melinda said. It's just another opportunity to learn something. And then Melinda, one more time, yes, to your community piece. You will all catapult yourselves to your dreams faster if you surround yourself with amazing people, right? Some of those amazing people are staring at you right now and so generously offering you their teachings in this new book. So another reason why I can't wait to share. So Dr. Beraki, how about you on this question? The person listening, they might just still be a little stuck and they want to feel empowered. What are you going to tell them today?
Well, I just want to piggyback off of what Melinda said, but I want to add that, whether something is working out for you in this moment, there's always the next moment. And then when you fall down, and you will, there's pain. I mean, we're all smiling because we went through the pain. This is the other side of pain. Always remember that. This is the other side of your pain. But you're still on the path. Like people say, well, I'm starting all over again. No, you're not. You're still on the path. Now you have more wisdom, more foresight, and more understanding, so you can continue. But as things happen to you in your life, if you look back, you'll see that you're further along on the path than when you started. So just remember that you're always on the path and there's always more, and that we have a choice and we can choose it.
I'm like scribbling furiously. Okay, I'm just going to pause you there. This one was good. You're not really starting all over again. Give me 2 more cents on that.
What, you're not starting all over again?
Yeah, like that's it. You know, it's important for people think that like things come crashing down and they're like, oh, now I got to start all, you know, and they get so upset about, but really you said it, you're still on the path.
You're still on the path. You know, look at the game. Whatever people consider a loss, that's where the lesson is. If you can get the lesson, you can get the blessing. And you can take that and move forward. You don't have to start all over again. Actually, you can't start all over again because you've already gained some insight and wisdom. So now you're in this moment and you're like, wow, this didn't work out. That wasn't good. My heart is broken. And all these other things that happen. What have I learned? Okay, now I can move on, because that's what the path is about. You know, trials, tribulations, joy, pain. They have, hell, if we didn't have all of this, there wouldn't be so many blues songs and country western songs and rock songs. You know, it's life, and it's an amazing game to play. But you gotta be in it to win it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really nice. Thank you for playing on that one for a little longer. That was a pause moment for me. You know, you ever want to like slow the train way down and like, wait a minute, that was a good thing. That's really nice. Okay, Doreen, close us out a little bit on this one. You know, there might be somebody who's still a little stuck. What do you want to say to them to help them feel a little more empowered today?
I'd like to share a testimonial. I was very, very shy, and I read my first speech at Toastmasters, my icebreaker. Hello, my name is Doreen Hillier, and I thought I should at least know who I am. When I went on to from 1995 to 2009, 2010 as District 86 governor with 4,500 members and led them to Distinguished District. And I won an award, and I said, I'm going to write a speech that gives them back the glory. I didn't get the award, the plaque, by myself. It was my area governors, my division governors, the various people that worked with me that saw the vision. That's how I became the one who got the plaque. So my success, you are the wind beneath my wings. Now, if you're stuck, if somebody who's shy, who couldn't even look you in the eye and say her name, if you could go on and lead a district to success and be one of 17 out of 352,000 people getting the International Presidential Citation Award worldwide in 2015, I think what it is the truest version of yourself. Line up with your core values. And if you haven't learned what your core values are, reflect, take a look, just take a moment and be quiet. Look at yourself, trust your heart. I know that I was helping clients when I was doing tax accounting, over 200 clients, 15-hour days. I know I was helping clients then too. And the money was good, kept a roof over our head, kept food in the kids' bellies. I know that. But when opportunity knocks, and God calls you in a different direction, if you listen, if you obey, and I didn't always obey, because if I had, I wouldn't have had to learn some of the lessons I did learn. But you know, if you listen to that still small voice. Now, somebody told me recently, if you're hearing voices, you need to go and get psychiatric help. But truly, your intuition and that still small voice, God does speak to you. So if you listen to it and you obey it, I tell you what, he's not going to let you down. He'll never forsake you. So you get on that path to growth, transformation for growth. And you can do anything that you choose to do and be who you want to be. Be true to you. Because the person who made you, the creator, not everybody believes in creation, but the creator, the person who made you, gave you work to do on this earth while we're here on earth, and you can choose what you want to do with that life. And one of the things, if I can share, if I have another moment, I'd like to share Elliott Connie's way of looking at things. He asked a question. A person sits before you and they said, well, I can't afford to go to college. What if you took a year and went to work and earned the money to go to college? What would you do then? What would that look like? Well, I'd like to be an NFL player. Well, what if you got really good marks and you got a scholarship and you became an NFL player? So you can see the growth, but you allow the other person to find what's true to them, what they are looking for, and help them get to where they want to go. Like you say, you can't fix somebody, you can't do it for them, but if they truly desire to change and desire to be transformed, they can do it one step at a time. Don't look at the elephant, look at maybe his toe, but just one step at a time, and each day, just keep building on that and building on that, and you can transform your life. So if you're stuck, remember, you can do one little thing and come out of that situation and just keep growing on it. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Doreen. Thanks to all of you. Really powerful, amazing author, women. Thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with everybody. So I want to say something, just one last thing about what Doreen said, that when you listen, you're going to sometimes hear two kinds of voices. You are going to hear an inner critic, and then you're going to hear an intuitional, bigger awesomeness. There are these two things, and they're going on all the time, all day long. And the honing in for my empire was discerning and understanding that the only way I'd align with what I was born to be was if I would notice the inner critic and pay more attention to the other one. Notice, you don't have to shove it away. You just, okay, what is that all about? Like, that's not going to help me today. But this voice over here is saying, you might just go, just go a little bit over this way, maybe go meet that person. And I started to wake up to the voices. And it's funny what Doreen said about what we're taught about that. Like, oh, you must be crazy. Or you all have heard all of the judgment of what voices mean. And honestly,
answer.
Discernment is the ultimate freedom. Yeah. And you each, I'm talking to our viewers, you each have a power to listen and discern based on how you're feeling and what aligns with you. And nobody teaches you. You get to know how you feel, right? You learn this language of your soul.
Yes.
A lot of people call it a lot of different things. Figure out how you want to call it. Exactly. And then figure that piece out, right? Again, any of these topics today, we could be here for another hour. They are deep, they are juicy, they are amazing. So I'm going to say one more thank you to all of you for being here. We have such an incredibly powerful book to share with you. Listeners, please remember that you can join us for our live stream book launch party coming up on Wednesday, February 16th at 10 a.m. That's 2022. We're going to gather with all of the unstoppable authors. We're going to be doing some fun giveaways that day. You're going to find us on the Brave Healer Productions Facebook page for that. And I have you hooked up down in the show notes. Maybe one of these authors said something to you today that sparked something. Go down into the show notes and explore. Click on their website. Go find out about them, right? They are very generously there for you, waiting for questions. And they're there to support you. They're there to help you begin to build your community. So take advantage, all right? They're all hooked up in the show notes as well. If you're listening after the 16th of February, well, that means the book is available already. So hop over to Amazon and grab your copy. And maybe you're a wellness practitioner. You're ready to share your brave words. You can find me on bravehealer.com. I'm ready to chat with you. Lastly, everyone, today, I want you to remember something. Your words, they change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. See you next time, ladies. Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.